Throughout the long and winding story of human existence, we have always sought ways to communicate across the vast distances of time and space. Long before the first words were ever written down, our ancestors painted symbols on cave walls. They etched patterns into bone and stone. These were more than just pictures. They were messages. They were attempts to capture a thought, a story, or a belief, and to share it with those who would come later. This impulse to record our world is a fundamental part of what makes us human. It is a way of saying, I was here. This is what I saw. This is what I believed. It is the foundation of our collective memory, allowing knowledge to build upon itself, generation after generation. Writing, when it finally emerged, was a revolution. It transformed societies entirely. Suddenly, laws could be recorded for all to see. Histories could be chronicled with greater accuracy than ever before. Complex ideas in philosophy, science, and art could be preserved and debated across centuries. From the hieroglyphs of ancient Egypt to the cuneiform of Mesopotamia, writing systems became the bedrock of civilizations. They are the threads that connect us directly to the minds of our ancestors. To read their words is to hear their voices echoing through time. It is a remarkable power, this ability to bottle a thought and send it sailing into the future, and one that we often take for granted in our modern world. Yet for all the scripts we have deciphered, for all the ancient voices we have managed to recover, there remain profound mysteries. Some writing systems still hold their secrets, locked away from our understanding. They are like silent songs, their melodies lost to the winds of time. These undeciphered scripts are some of the greatest puzzles in archaeology. They represent entire worlds of knowledge that are tantalizingly close, yet remain just beyond our grasp. They remind us that history is not a complete book. It is a text with missing pages, with chapters written in languages we no longer speak. And among these silent languages, few are as haunting or as enigmatic as the script from one of the most isolated places on Earth. This particular mystery comes from a tiny speck of land in the middle of the vast Pacific Ocean, Easter Island, or Rapa Nui, as it is known to its people. Here an extraordinary culture developed in complete isolation, creating wonders that continue to baffle us to this day. They carved and erected colossal stone statues, the famous Moai, which stare out over the ocean with silent, watchful eyes. But they also created something else, something far more intimate and perhaps even more mysterious. They developed a unique system of writing known as Rongorongo. It is a script unlike any other, a beautiful and intricate collection of symbols that holds the lost history of the Rapa Nui people. And today, no one on Earth can read it. Imagine an island so remote that for centuries, its inhabitants believed they were the only people in the world. This is Rapa Nui. It is a lonely triangle of volcanic rock, more than 2,000 miles from the coast of South America and over 1,000 miles from its nearest Polynesian neighbor. The Pacific Ocean stretches out in every direction, a seemingly endless expanse of blue. It was on this isolated stage that one of the most remarkable and puzzling chapters of human history unfolded. The first settlers, Polynesian voyagers who crossed the vast ocean in magnificent canoes, arrived here around 1,000 years ago, bringing with them their culture, their beliefs, and the seeds of a new society. In this profound isolation, the Rapa Nui people accomplished incredible feats of engineering and artistry. Their most famous creations are, of course, the Moai. These monumental stone statues, some standing over 30 feet tall and weighing many tons, are a testament to the ingenuity and sheer determination of their makers. Carved from the island's volcanic tuff, they were transported across the rugged landscape and erected on ceremonial platforms, or ahu. They are thought to represent deified ancestors, powerful chiefs whose presence continued to protect their clans long after they had passed. Their silent, brooding faces have become a symbol of the island itself, a testament to a culture that thrived against all odds. But the Moai are only part of the island's story. While these great stone figures stood in the open for all to see, another treasure was hidden away, carefully guarded. In the quiet of their homes, the Rapa Nui people kept small, beautifully carved wooden tablets. These objects were precious. They were smooth to the touch, often made from the rare wood of the Toromiro tree, and inscribed upon their surfaces were rows upon rows of elegant, mysterious symbols. These symbols are what we now call Rongorongo. The glyphs depict human figures in various poses: birds, fish, plants, and celestial objects. They were a library of a people without paper, a chronicle carved in wood. The very existence of Rongorongo is an astonishing fact. It appears to be one of the few instances in human history where a writing system was invented from scratch, without any influence from other scripts. On an island with no written tradition to draw from, the Rapa Nui people created their own. The tablets were said to contain chants, genealogies, and sacred knowledge, recited by specialist scribes during important rituals. The name itself, Rongorongo, is thought to mean to recite, to declaim, to chant out. This was not just writing. It was a performance, a living tradition where symbols on wood were transformed into sound, into song, into the very soul of the culture. For centuries, the world knew nothing of Easter Island's hidden script. The first European visitors who arrived in the 18th century were amazed by the Moai, but they made no mention of any writing. It was not until 1864 that the outside world learned of Rongorongo's existence. A French missionary, Eugene Ayrault, was living among the Rapa Nui people when he noticed the inscribed wooden tablets in their homes. He recognized them as a form of writing, a remarkable discovery on such a remote island. He wrote about these hieroglyphic characters, noting that the islanders held them in great reverence. Yet it seemed no one was left who could properly read them. By the time Ayrault made his discovery, a terrible tragedy had already befallen the island and its people. Just 2 years earlier, in 1862, slave raiders from Peru had descended upon Rapa Nui. They violently abducted over 1,000 islanders, nearly half the population, including the island's king and many of its learned elders. These were the very individuals who held the knowledge of the Rongorongo script. They were the scribes, the chanters, the keepers of the sacred lore. Forced to work in horrific conditions in the guano mines of Peru, almost all of them perished from disease and abuse. A great silence began to fall over the island's traditions. The devastation did not end there. The few survivors who were eventually repatriated brought with them smallpox and tuberculosis, which swept through the remaining island population. This catastrophic series of events, combined with internal warfare and the destruction of the island's ecosystem, led to a near-total collapse of Rapa Nui society. The intricate social structure that had supported the creation of the Moai and the preservation of the Rongorongo tablets crumbled. Knowledge that had been passed down through countless generations was lost in the space of a few short years. The living library of Rapa Nui had been burned, and its last librarians were gone. When scholars and collectors finally realized the immense value of the Rongorongo tablets, they scrambled to find what was left. But it was almost too late. Many of the tablets had been lost or destroyed. Some had been burned for firewood during the island's darkest days. Others were repurposed as fishing line reels or simply rotted away. Missionaries, believing them to be demonic, had encouraged their destruction. In the end, only around 24 objects bearing the Rongorongo script survived. These precious few artifacts are now scattered in museums across the world, from Tahiti to London to Santiago. They are the last silent remnants of a lost world of knowledge. With the keepers of its knowledge gone, the Rongorongo script became one of the world's great linguistic puzzles. Scholars from around the globe have been captivated by its beautiful flowing lines and its enigmatic symbols. But what exactly is it? Is it a true writing system, capable of recording the full range of spoken language, much like the letters you are reading now? Or is it something else entirely? This question lies at the heart of the Rongorongo debate. One school of thought argues that it is a proto-writing, a system of mnemonic symbols designed to help a trained chanter remember the key points of a long and complex oral text, like a song sheet for a sacred ritual. This idea is supported by the way the script is laid out. Rongorongo is written in a rare style called reverse boustrophedon. You start reading at the bottom left corner of a tablet and read the line to the right. Then you must turn the tablet upside down to read the next line, again from left to right. This physical act of turning the tablet with each line is unique. It suggests a performative element, something that was done as part of a ritual recitation. The symbols themselves, graceful birds, stylized human figures, crescent moons, seem more illustrative than abstract. They may not represent sounds or syllables, but rather concepts, ideas, or key phrases in a sacred chant. On the other side of the debate are those who believe Rongorongo is a true, complex script. They point to the sheer number of distinct glyphs, over 600 of them, and the repetitive patterns in which they appear. Statistical analyses of the text have shown that the frequency and sequencing of symbols are not random. They follow rules, just as the letters and words in a written language do. Some researchers have identified what appear to be genealogical lists, with a specific creator symbol followed by a series of other glyphs, perhaps representing generations of a family. This suggests a system capable of recording specific factual information, not just poetic reminders. This ongoing debate highlights just how little we truly know. Attempts to link the glyphs to the modern Rapa Nui language have been largely unsuccessful, partly because the language itself has changed so much over the centuries. Some scholars have suggested that the script records an older liturgical form of the language, one that is now completely lost. Without a Rosetta Stone, a parallel text in a known language, the meaning of the symbols remains a matter of intense speculation. Is each glyph a word, a syllable, or simply an idea? Until we find a key, the beautiful figures on the tablets will continue to guard their secrets, leaving us to wonder at the silent song they represent. The story of Rongorongo is inextricably linked to the tragic history of the Rapa Nui people. The loss of the script was not a gradual fading away. It was a violent tearing out of the heart of their culture. The destruction of the tablets and the death of the scribes represent a profound cultural wound, a scar that is still felt on the island today. Imagine a world where every book, every library, and every person who could read was suddenly wiped from existence. This is the scale of the catastrophe that befell the Rapa Nui. The Rongorongo tablets were the island's memory, its history, its sacred law, and its connection to the divine. Their loss created a silence that has echoed for over 150 years. This loss is made even more poignant by the physical objects that remain. The 24 surviving tablets are more than just linguistic artifacts. They are sacred relics. For the modern Rapa Nui people, they are a powerful, tangible link to an era of great accomplishment and profound spiritual knowledge. Seeing them locked away behind glass in foreign museums is a source of deep sadness and frustration. These are not simply objects for academic study. They are the stolen soul of a people, and there is a growing movement to have them repatriated to their rightful home on Easter Island, where they can be honored and preserved as part of a living heritage. Yet out of this story of immense loss, a powerful narrative of resilience has emerged. The Rapa Nui culture was pushed to the very brink of extinction, but it did not break. The people survived. They held on to their language, their traditions, and their identity with incredible strength. Today, the island is experiencing a cultural renaissance. The Rapa Nui language is being taught in schools, ancient traditions are being revived, and a new generation is working to reconnect with the knowledge of their ancestors. Rongorongo, though unread, plays a central role in this revival. It has become a potent symbol of their unique identity and their survival against all odds. The script now appears everywhere on the island. It is carved into souvenirs, printed on clothing, and used in the logos of local businesses. Artists incorporate the beautiful glyphs into their work, not because they know their original meaning, but because they recognize their power. The symbols have been reborn. They are no longer just a lost script, they are a declaration of cultural pride. They represent the ingenuity of the ancestors and the unbreakable spirit of their descendants. In this way, Rongorongo continues to speak, not in the language of the past, but in the symbolic language of modern Rapa Nui identity and endurance. The challenge of deciphering Rongorongo has attracted some of the brightest minds in linguistics and cryptography for over a century. The quest is a formidable one, fraught with dead ends and tantalizing but unproven theories. One of the earliest and most famous attempts was made by Bishop Tepano Jausen in the 1870s. He worked with a Rapa Nui elder named Matoro Tau Aure, who claimed to be able to read the script. Matoro chanted from the tablets, and the bishop painstakingly wrote down what he said. However, it soon became clear that Matoro was not truly reading. He was simply describing the glyphs, or associating them with similar-sounding chants he knew. The key had not been found. Many other attempts have followed, each with its own methodology. Some scholars have tried to work backwards from the modern Rapa Nui language, looking for phonetic clues. Others have focused on a single tablet, the Mamari tablet, which appears to contain a lunar calendar. They have successfully matched some of the glyphs to the phases of the moon and important ritual nights, proving that the script can indeed record precise, scientific information. This small victory was a huge step forward, but it only unlocked a tiny corner of the system. The vast majority of the glyphs, especially those that seem to narrate stories or genealogies, remain completely opaque. The digital age has brought new tools to the quest. Computers can now perform complex statistical analyses on the glyphs, identifying patterns and relationships that would be invisible to the human eye. Researchers have created comprehensive databases of every known symbol, allowing for rapid comparison across all the surviving texts. This has helped to confirm that the script is a highly structured system, but it has not yet revealed the meaning of that structure. The problem remains the same. Without a bilingual text, a key, or a living tradition, we are left looking at the patterns from the outside, like trying to understand a conversation in a language we have never heard before. The failure to decipher Rongorongo is a humbling lesson. It reminds us that some historical puzzles may never be solved. It is possible that the knowledge required to read the script is gone forever, lost with the last of the learned elders in the 19th century. Yet the quest continues. Each new generation of linguists and archaeologists brings fresh eyes and new techniques to the problem. The dream of one day hearing the voices of the ancient Rapa Nui chanters is a powerful motivator. The silent tablets wait patiently in their museum cases, holding out the hope that someday someone will find the key and their song will be heard once more. In the end, the story of Rongorongo is about so much more than just an undeciphered script. It is a profound meditation on memory, loss, and the incredible fragility of human culture. The elegant symbols so beautifully carved represent a peak of intellectual achievement for a people living in utter isolation. They are a testament to the universal human drive to record our world, to give permanence to our stories and beliefs. The fact that this unique creation could be so utterly silenced in just a few short years is a stark reminder of how quickly a world of knowledge can vanish. It speaks to the devastating impact of colonialism and disease, forces that have extinguished countless cultural lights across the globe. Yet, even in its silence, Rongorongo continues to resonate with a powerful message. It has become a global symbol of mystery, capturing the imagination of people far beyond the shores of Easter Island. It stands alongside other great unsolved enigmas of the ancient world, like the Indus Valley script or the Voynich manuscript. These puzzles fascinate us because they represent the limits of our knowledge. They remind us that the past is not a fully explored territory. It is a landscape that still holds deep secrets and uncharted frontiers. The silent glyphs challenge our confidence and invite us to embrace the wonder of the unknown. For the Rapa Nui people today, the script's meaning has transformed. While the original chants may be lost, the symbols themselves have become a source of immense cultural pride and a beacon of hope. They are a link to the genius of their ancestors and a symbol of their own resilience. By incorporating the glyphs into modern art, tattoos, and community emblems, they are giving Rongorongo a new voice. It is a voice that speaks not of specific genealogies or rituals, but of identity, survival, and the enduring spirit of a people who refuse to disappear. The script is silent, but its presence is louder than ever. And so, the silent song of Easter Island continues. The wooden tablets may be unread, their secrets locked away, but they are not forgotten. They inspire us to look deeper into our shared human story, to cherish the cultural treasures we still have, and to protect the fragile heritage of all peoples. Rongorongo teaches us that some of the most profound connections to our past are not found in the words we can read, but in the mysteries that endure, calling to us across the centuries. It is a beautiful, haunting melody of silence, a song that reminds us of both the wonder and the fragility of our human journey.